everybody. Welcome to a Friday edition of Box Seats. I'm your host, Frank Holder, and I'm being joined by comedians known as Talent and Fig. These guys have been in the comedy game for a very long time. I'm so happy it's Friday. I don't even know what to tell you all. But I'm joined by who've been in the comedy game for a long time, and they've been in films, film festivals, commercials, movies, anything with a comedy tag on it. These guys have been involved. So looks like Talent's traveling. Fig is at home. So first of all, Talent, how was your weekend? How was your week? And Fig, how's your week?
Hey, man, week was very good for me, brother. It's still going on. I'm down here in Charlotte, North Carolina with the fam and getting some business done, man. Some good things on the horizon.
Man, so I know how that go. Fig, how'd you?
Man, listen, man, it's Friday. I'm excited. The week has been lovely. I can't wait for the top dogs today. Today, the top dogs.
Ooh, boy, I'm can't wait for you to drop the top dogs myself, because that's less work for me. Let's get ready to get started with the COVID report, man. Because first thing I want to say is that the Mets and the Yankees are opening up at 20% capacity. Starting in the next 2 weeks. They are going to lead the other Major League Baseball opening up at 20% capacity, and Major League Baseball officials have said that when they open up at 20% capacity, that if things go well, the rest of the league will open up at 20% capacity. Now, I know this is y'all's neck of the woods. I know you all, obviously Yankees and Mets fans and things like that. You guys, what's your thought process on opening up at 20% capacity for baseball? Talent, what you think?
Well, you know what? I like it because of a few things. I love that, baseball stadiums are open. You know what I mean? Your outdoors pretty much open. You got a lot of space to work with. And 20% in there, it's doing two things, killing two birds with one stone. One, your space now, you have more than enough space for social distance. Two, you give some sort of fandom and what do you say, like a sort of mood, because fans change the mood of the players. So I think it adds the intensity back into the game. You have more than enough space. It's only 20%. And like the league says, if it goes well, then we'll do that for the league. I like it. It's outdoors.
Right. Big, what you think?
Yeah, man, I like it too, man. I mean, if you're going to have guinea pigs, you might have put them in the safest environment possible. You know what I mean? So 20% is like, we don't want 100% of y'all to die, but we're going to take a chance with 20% of y'all and then see what happens from there. Now, if y'all die, then we're going to be like, the rest of the 80% can't.
Oh, let me ask my man Stack, who's joining the show. Stack, what you think about Major League Baseball joining adding 20% fans into the obviously the arenas, the stadium?
I think that's pretty much in line with the way the country's moving right now with everything else. Restaurant capacities are going up, amusement parks. So it's only natural that they're gonna do the same thing with the athletic events. So I think that's all right. With the vaccines rolling out, this and that.
It's funny you say that. Let me say something, Stacks. That is the most beautiful country club type prison that I've ever seen in my life. I'm just saying.
Thank you. The feds is nice to me, man. The feds have been nice to me. They even let me smuggle my clubs in here. So I got my golf club.
Oh,
it's funny you say that, though, man. It's funny you say that, Stack, about the opening up and everything else, because Canelo Alvarez and Billy Joe Saunders, a boxing match, they open up May 8th. It's going to be allowing 60,000 fans, and it's going to be happening in Arlington, Texas. So 60,000 fans. Texas looks like they're moving in that direction of having a whole bunch of people open. And in Tokyo's made a decision on the flip side of that. They're not allowing any foreigners to come in. They're not allowing any foreigners to play. They made that decision official this morning for what? The Olympics. So, it's funny how we see one thing and they see another way. And, we'll talk more about that. But you know what? We have got to talk about move on. I don't want to talk too much about the COVID report, because we have got to talk about move on about this Deshaun Watson situation, because last night and this morning, last night there were 4 more lawsuits still filed. And this morning, the attorney said that there are 9 women total, 7 of them who filed reports. against Deshaun Watson, investigating obviously the sexual issues that's going on. I'm gonna start with you, Talent, because here's what I heard this morning. The police were obviously in contact with the attorney. The attorney said, right now we're not, basically, hold up for a second, police. They informed the police of something, but he has multiple text messages from all these women that he's saying that incriminates Deshaun. I brought this up yesterday, and I said, do you guys think that they're dangling this criminal thing over your head? And we were all sitting and saying, we're not sure and everything else. I think as of this morning, I think they're dangling the criminal charges over his head to get whatever it is they want to get from him, which is probably to shut up and stay in Houston. That's what I think. What you think of Talent?
But I told you this. I said this yesterday. Like, it's, dude, here's the piece that cracked me up yesterday. I said what I said on the show, that I think that this is a scare tactic to dangle it, to force him to stay put for at least a year or two, right? And then what happens after that?
Right.
We find out that the lawyer representing these women is the neighbor of the owner of the team.
Wow.
Right.
Come on, man. It don't get no more blatant and apparent than that. Like, that's the pudding. That's the proof in the pudding. I knew this is what it was because the timing was too peculiar to be just a coincidence. Mm-hmm. Those are two big words right there in the same sentence. Peculiar and coincidence.
I like the way you look at it. Look at talent, y'all. Look at that. Greg, what you think?
Hey, man, you talking about, are they dangling something, prison time over his head? I'm dangling. And the funny thing about Texas is they don't need the women to bring charges in order to press, in order to press criminal charges against you. The state can bring it themselves because it's Texas. And it's the same state that's opening up 70%. I want to say, go ahead, Texas. Don't open up 70. Just go ahead for the whole 100. I mean, why let 30% of your people live? Let them all go. Do it 100%, Texas. And the song comes to mind with all these women coming out trying to join this civil case, which means money. The song is Dog Pile on the Rabbit, Dog Pile on the Rabbit, Dog Pile on the Rabbit.
I never heard that song, Fig. We never heard that song, Fig.
Me neither.
Never heard that song?
Vic, you about to,
no, we never heard that.
Vic, you about to get muted at that rate. Stack, tell me what you think.
No, they're definitely dangling it over him, and I didn't even know about the fact that the representing attorney is the neighbor of the owner of the team, and we always talk about how the NFL is like, similar to like a slave plantation in a lot of ways, and it just looks like, with Deshaun trying to like manifest his own destiny, they're trying to push back at him. So this is absurd. Like, wow. Like, I mean, and then also I just want to say I'm not being insensitive to like victims of sexual assault. If he's guilty, then go ahead and prosecute him to the fullest extent of the law or whatever. But the timing is impeccable. That's all I'm gonna say. Timing is impeccable.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna say this. Talent brought up something yesterday which I wasn't aware of. He said that the sexual masseuse, the masseuse is now the new sexual masseuse, and it's the new hustle. And now I don't know because I'm married. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't. And even if I did know, I wasn't going to say it on.
Yeah, it's the new room massages, right?
Yeah, like I don't know. So let me say this.
Having you. Go ahead.
So let me say this to you. Let me say this to you, Talent. I'm gonna throw this out to you. I'm gonna ask you this: is it possible that the attorney got together some women who are prostitutes and putting together a lawsuit against these women who are moonlighting as as masseuses, and they're really running a prostitution ring? Could that be possible? Are we looking at that?
Well, absolutely, because all they need is for them to be in the same place at the same time. And this is the new thing, man. This is when I learned this thing. All the All-Star weekends, the Pro Bowl weekends, the Super Bowl weekend, all those big weekends that go on in these towns, these girls who do this for a living have infiltrated these weekends because these are big money-making weekends for them. We're going to be there with all the celebrities, all the athletes who make a lot of money. So the $200, $300, $400, $500 a pop a session is nothing to them. They'll pay it and they'll do it. And they have been doing it. So all they need is to find these women and say, hey, you've been around him. You did the massage thing for him. We have a record of you guys coming in and paying a trip or whatever, or him getting a massage. Let's do this. We're going to give you quadruple what you make, because all you got to do is cut a check. And if I'm a girl, for lack of a better term, I'm a prostitute or I sell for hundreds of dollars, why wouldn't I say this for hundreds of thousands of dollars?
Yeah, because it literally could be like a class action type lawsuit where they all getting together and trying to force him into make a payment, because we all know some cats would make that payment. Now, Fig, I'm gonna ask you the same question, bro. Could it possibly be a prostitution type of ring where they all got together, do a class action lawsuit, and everybody's just overlooking that fact? I mean, I'm not trying to be funny. I'm just like, it could be a serious hustle going on here. What you think, Fig?
That's what I believe from the very beginning. And the one caveat that I want to throw out is the fact that sexual assault is a very serious crime against anyone. I mean, it happens against men, it happens against women, and a lot of times the victims are afraid to come out. The thing that gives me the most pause with this particular case is the timing of it, and second, the fact that they went for a civil case, which means they basically want to get paid as opposed to going for criminal charges. Now, had they come out when it actually happened and they pressed criminal charges against him, and then after they won in the criminal case, then went after him, civilly, for damages, that would be an entirely different story to me. Then that give me a whole different view of exactly what's happening here. But the fact that the first thing that they're going for is money, and nobody's considering any criminal charges about what it is that he did, and the fact that what Talent said, that the lawyer lives next to the owner of the team, and Deshaun Watson is trying to get out, and they're talking about all this negative stuff against Texas. I mean, it screams of a conspiracy, man. It just screams of not the right thing, man. I just don't like it. I don't like it.
I'll say this before I throw it to you, Stack. Everything Spig just said is absolutely right, and I'm gonna even add the cherry on top of that and say that the attorney even turned down the fact to go to the police with this information first. Why? Because let me see how much money we get from this first. That don't make no sense to me neither. Zach, what you think?
Yes, I mean, y'all said everything. I mean, it's a smear campaign. It's defamation. It's all of that. And it's out of spite. And that's all I'm gonna say. I don't want to get too carried away trying to say that these women are lying and so on and so forth. But between the timing and the fact that it's only civil, and the fact that the lawyer lives next to the owner, and that they're actually declining the opportunity to take it, to legal, procedures. I don't know, criminal procedures. I have a really hard time believing that this is valid.
Right. All right. Last statement I'm gonna make on this, and I'm gonna throw it to you, Talent, with this last statement. What do you think this does to his chances of being traded? Do you think, like I said yesterday, it gives Houston more power and obviously less, power to Deshaun, and make sure they are able to be the ones and say, we are going to trade you here, and this is what we want to get you, versus him being able to steer the ship on where he wants to get traded? Because before last week, he was able to steer the ship. You know what I mean? This week, he can't steer the ship. Right now, to me, his trade value is close to nothing. So they're going to still try to get something for him, I think. If they want to even trade him, you know what I mean? They might be forcing him to stay. You know what I mean? They might be forcing him to stay.
I think the good thing, the only thing Deshaun still have in his favor is time. We do have time. We have time to do a lot of things. We have time to really dig into these cases and see the validity or not, to expose it for what it fully is or not. You have time to still find a team, per se, even though they gave themselves a little leverage. The leverage that Deshaun still has in his back pocket is time. You know what I mean? So much can happen in the next month or two that can turn this thing back around and him getting what he wants. So my fingers are crossed. I'm rooting for him. I'm giving, like anything else, I'm giving the benefit of the doubt. I'm not downplaying sexual assault or sexual harassment or any of that thing, but I will give the benefit of the doubt from the beginning, because that's what we're supposed to do in this country. You're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. And the thing I don't like about America particularly is when these things come out, when they're first released, the first accusations or allegations, it's the biggest headline you can see, takes up all the paper, all the heading. And then if we find it to not be true or invalid, it's a small headline.
Yep.
So you never get the mileage back that's taken down the road when we are accused and alleged to do these things. So I'm seeing Deshaun until it's proven. You know what I mean? He's innocent until proven guilty. That's all I'm saying.
Well, the NFL's investigating, but since the NFL's now stepped in, Fig, the value of Deshaun is where is it at in your mind? Is it forced more so go to Houston? The pendulum swung more to Houston, or is it middle? You know what I mean? What's your thought process?
I think that the savvy teams, the people that know exactly what's going on, Deshaun Watson's value hasn't gone down at all. The thing is that the NFL gets involved and they start levying, all types of penalties and stuff against the player before, the results of the trial or whatever comes out, or before this case is resolved, because they don't want to look bad to the public, because they make billions of dollars because of public support. The thing is that the teams that are savvy, unless the NFL blocks it, they'll still take on Deshaun Watson. But the worst part about this, if there could be a worst part, is that even if Deshaun Watson clears his name, this will always be a stain. People will always talk about this. Remember the time? Because Michael Jackson was accused of child molestation several times, went to court, and proved his innocence. People still call Michael Jackson a child molester. This will never go away.
Right,
even if he clears himself, he'll always be guilty.
All right, Stack, what's your thoughts?
So my Wi-Fi broke up when you asked the question, Frank. So you got to ask.
Sorry. The question was the trade value now for Deshaun Watson. Where do you think it's at now? Do you think it's more, the leverage is more back to Houston's position, or do you think now that the leverage has more so swung back in the middle? Or it's obviously not in Deshaun's case, but I think personally, in my opinion, I was saying to the guys that it gave Houston the ability to be able to say, hey, we're going to trade you where we want to trade you, and took the obviously the caveat off the tip from where Deshaun, because he has a no trade clause in his contract. What's your thoughts?
I feel like the momentum is going to swing into the team's direction for now. As the details come out, I think that things, like Tom was saying, it's got time, so with time, maybe, things can kind of even out a little bit more. And also some teams have critical thinking, GMs. If we're thinking this, I'm sure some of these other GMs are as well and are still willing to trade for him. Maybe even your ideal trade, Frank, which I know is you think he's going to New England. So,
No, I thought he was going to New England before the sexual allegations. I don't think they're going to touch him now. I just don't see it.
You took the chance on Antonio. You took the chance on Antonio Brown in the midst of it all.
But he was there. He was there for 10 days until when the thing started getting ready to move towards the criminal allegations. As soon as that happened, and right now that's where we're at right now with him, because the police is now getting ready to be involved. And once the police get ready to be involved, New England is definitely going to be out. You know what I mean? That as we all know, that Aaron Hernandez daggle is hanging over their head. They don't even want to. They don't want to mess with it.
Bob Happy Ending Kraft. His story is the real. That's the real story.
You did not just say that.
Hey, Stack, I heard Robert Kraft knows all these women.
Yo, Frank, you cannot keep Stacks on your team anymore, man. He is trying to sully the name of Kraft. Everybody loves Kraft products, man. You cannot sully the brand name of Kraft.
Hey. I think they already did that themselves. I don't think we're going to touch that. Let me move on now to a story that absolutely warms my heart. I absolutely love this. When I saw this morning, I was like, I can't wait to talk about this to the fellas. I don't know if you guys heard about this, But my man Doug Williams, former quarterback and the first black quarterback for the Washington Redskins to win a Super Bowl, my man created something called the HBCU Legacy Bowl that kicks off in a couple of weeks. It's for the HBCU players who play in historically black colleges and universities. They don't, as we all know, they don't get looks to go into the NFL. They have to try their best to become, they don't get drafted, they don't get looks. They have to try their best to see if they can, become walk-ons on certain NFL teams. And the only way a lot of this happens for them, is if they broke all kinds of records, especially NAACP records and everything, NCAA records. You know what I mean? They have to, that's the only way a lot of them get looks. Talent. When you hear that Doug Williams is starting something that's showcasing talent for these young guys to get to the NFL and basically creating a whole pathway to get to the NFL, how does that make you feel? You feel as warm like I do?
Like this. That joint make me.
Okay.
This the Doug dance, baby. Teach you how to Dougie. Teach you how to Dougie. Make me feel real good for black colleges. First of all, real good for Doug doing something like this, because if you haven't read his book, the book is called Quarter Black. Get his book. That's a must read first and foremost. I think it's dope, man. I think we need more things like this across the board. I mean, the climate has changed fully. We know that we're in this different climate. So why do things the same? If we see so much wrong with the old climate and we deem change, more people should be jumping on board like this. This should be something across the board, not just black college football. Everything that we're not getting a fair look at and a fair shake at and a fair chance to be a part of, revamp it. Create our own. Me and you were just talking off the air before the show, Frank, about, owning these comedy clubs now. Let's change the narrative. Let's put ourselves in a position to go further and be better and bigger. I love it.
I love it too, but your dancing has a little bit suspect.
Are you crazy? This been around for years, Frank. Where you been at? This
that's the
been
problem.
around for years, baby. This come on, man. You kidding me? Look at this place. Huh?
That's the problem. That's the problem. It's been around for years. Fig, what you thought process, man, when you hear that Doug Williams is doing this stuff and getting ready to do continuous with this HBCU? What's your thoughts?
See, Fig dancing
I
too.
think it's dope, man. I'm excited, man. I love the Dougie dance and all that, man. I think it's really dope that Doug Williams, the first black quarterback to win a Super Bowl and broke all records while he was doing it for the Washington now football team, with the Redskins back in the day, but now the Washington football team. The fact that he's doing this for HBCUs and the fact that Deion Sanders is coaching the HBCU and all of these other prominent athletes is giving money and doing things for HBCUs, I think there's a conscious awakening amongst black men, athletes, men with means, to be able to come back and galvanize and do things for HBCUs, man, and it only could get better from here. The thing that I would like to see, though, on top of it, instead of them doing things individually, I'd like to see them all come together and do things collectively, because there's strength in numbers, and the more these guys come together, I think they can make it, even that more impactful.
Before I throw it to Stack, let me just say this out there, man. Juju Smith-Schuster is returning to the Steelers, man. I just got the alert. So the Jets are off the table, Patriots off the table, and the Bills are off the table. I was going to talk about that a little bit later, because he was supposed to be circling in with the Jets. But the Steelers found the money, so we'll talk about that. But Stack, what you think when you hear about this, brother? Because at the end of the day, HBCUs are stepping up to the plate.
Look, all corny dance moves aside, I'm ecstatic about this news. As a HBCU alum from the illustrious Clark Atlanta University, I'm extremely happy to hear that Doug Williams put that together. Also, I think this is going to open the door to something bigger, because what really needs to happen is we need to get a TV deal for the HBCU athletics. The TV deals would funnel so much money into those schools that, it would help so many students. And I just feel like a TV deal is where all the bread is. So, yeah, these guys can get looks. They can get jobs and walk on to teams. But realistically, if you put those games and these showcases on television and that money gets funneled back into the schools, you're going to help tons of black kids across the United States a lot of first generation college students get an education.
Stack. I thought they had a TV deal with ESPN. Doesn't ESPN College Channel have a deal with the HBCU? I could have sworn they had it.
It's not promoted. The last time I remember watching HBCU football on TV was when BET was still black owned. Ever since BET got sold to Viacom, there was no real showcasing of like HBCUs. So, you know how many classics there are, or how many homecomings could be featured? Now that Deion Sanders is at Jackson State, that's the real reason why, ESPN want to put their little grubby fingers on it now. No, I should have said that. I'm just hating right now because, but it just feels like they only want to pay attention to this stuff now because it's like, the climate nowadays. When realistically, there have been HBCU athletes that contributed to the NFL. You have guys like Shannon Sharp, that's an HBCU alum. He's on Fox, and he's doing big things. You got a lot of Hall of Famers from HBCUs. They honored a bunch of HBCU athletes at a couple Super Bowls ago. So it's like they know that the talent's there. Let's get the exposure so that these schools can get some real money and we can make a real impact as opposed to a couple kids getting some jobs in the NFL.
Well, we all know that.
Are you talking about leveling the playing field?
I'm talking about equity. Exactly. Equity.
Your background goes well with the word equity. Look at the background when he said equity. Look at the back. That's the prettiest group home backyard I've ever seen in my life. Look at that right there. I hope they got more than 20% of you guys in there.
Yeah, I know. It's definitely not.
I agree with Stack.
Let me. Yeah, what Stack said is absolutely right. Because at the end of the day, there's a lot of money that's out there to be left on the table. Let me move on. Add this, move on the conversation because we got to get the top dog. The NCAA has now officially acknowledged disparity in women's and men's tournament, and of course, gym equipment, things like that. I saw a little clip on it this morning. It caught my attention. I didn't realize the disparity between men and women's was so huge. But when you realize that these colleges are pumping so much more money into the men's basketball program, because the men's basketball program makes a lot of money for them. I guess my question is to you, Talent. I'm gonna start out with you. Don't you think that these colleges and universities should at least give them equal opportunity? Because the women now are not where it was 5 years ago. Hell, it's light years from where it was 10 years ago. Some of these women are playing and balling out like men. You know what I mean? Let's be honest. They're lifting weights like men. They're playing baseball, football, and definitely playing basketball like men. I saw a girl block shot yesterday on ESPN. She was blocking shots and dunking literally on ESPN. I'm like, and it's almost the norm now. So should they not equate the money into both programs?
Yeah, absolutely, they should do that. But here's the thing: give it 10 more years, it's not going to matter, men's or women's. Yeah. Once the transgender thing really takes full effect and the sexuality thing, all that's going to be like a blended family, and it's going to go away. But right now, absolutely, they should. I'll be honest with you, man. I started to go. It was a point before COVID. I started to go to the women's games more than the men's game because of the intensity in competition. Like women go harder. WNBA. You ever go to a game? They go way. Like everybody dies in the stands. Those games. Right. So yeah, I think that we have to close the gap on all that stuff. But I think again, goes back to the climate. That's what we've been working on for the past year, blatantly with this climate, is getting these gaps drawn in and closed, more and more. And you know what it is with the owners, man. It's going to come down to revenue. It's like NBA owners and other sports owners remind me of club owners. They're looking at the bottom line all the time.
It's always about the money. Always about the money. Fig, what's your thought?
I think with the NCAA, women's and men's, the disparity between the two is the ones who generate the most amount of money. You know what I mean? And those those are the ones who get the best facilities and stuff like that, or the best equipment and stuff. But I did see what you saw this morning, man, and what they gave to the women to work out was just horrible, man. I have better equipment upstairs in my room that I work out with than they have for those women that play college basketball, man. It's just horrible. I mean, look, they could do better than that. You know what I mean? I'm not going to go as far as to say is that, men's sport and women's sport needs equal pay and all that stuff like that, because at the end of the day, you know, it's a business and you get to eat from what it is that you can generate. But if you can up the numbers and make it, you know, and make it palatable for the women, I think that you should, you know what I mean? Because like Talon said, man, it's a talented game. You know what I mean? The women play, it's fundamental basketball. I mean, they're doing stuff. And Talon said that the women are diving in, all of the women are diving in the stands. I just want to know, can he get us some front row tickets?
So you want to be the next dude on that Summer Jam scream for sexual harassment, huh?
Yeah.
He said,
Right.
I heard can I get some tickets? It came out wrong. I know
Hold on. Broke people don't get sued. You understand what I'm saying? They don't sue broke people. They only sue multi-millionaires. They're not suing broke people.
Spack, what you think?
No, I mean, definitely even the playing field for sisters, you know, for women, you know, when it comes to athletics, I saw that too. And it was like the despair was too big. I understand that men's athletics will probably always generate more money than women, at least when it comes to like basketball or football, you know, but the schools have the surplus, they have the money, they have the space. Just go ahead and get it done because it's the right thing to do. You know, that's pretty much all it is. But I didn't know that Fig worked out. That's something I just learned with all of this. I didn't even know. I didn't know that.
Listen here, Mr. Got Rock.
You know, I like how Stack does the slide little remarks. You know what I mean? Like
you see that? You see how he slid that in there?
Okay. And that's the second one he did on this show today. And I was shocked.
I know. I think he's slick. He out there on the veranda with the meditation bracelets all on his arm. I see you.
Hey, you know, it's yoga. It's yoga. Okay, I'm doing a little yoga now, trying to get centered. You know?
I eat yoga. I have yoga.
All right, let me move this thing on, man. And we talked about Juju Smith-Schuster, but I want to ask you all, man, what do you all think about, since we're talking about football now, what do you all think about the Eagles with the number 6 in the draft? I heard that as another topic this morning because here's what I saw this morning, and I noticed something. Carson Wentz, he obviously did his thing this morning for, being introduced to the Colts. The Eagles now, obviously, they jump in the news at the same time, say, hey, we're happy with Jalen Hurts, and Jalen Hurts is going to be our number 1 QB, and yeah, we might draft the QB, and we're still thinking about it. I don't care what nobody says, talent. If you got the number 6 pick in the draft, and you the Philadelphia Eagles, and Jalen Hurts is your starting QB, you gonna draft another QB. It's just no doubt. You're gonna draft another QB. Jalen Hurts was 1-4 last year. You know what I mean? He took that starting job. There's so many QBs who are available this year who are supposed to be really, really, really good. If you're Philadelphia, you can't sit there and say, "Nah, we're gonna draft somebody else." I mean, unless I'm bugging. What you think, talent? I might be bugging.
But it's all optics, man. You got to control the optics, and because you have this guy on your roster, you can't just be gung ho like we can't wait to get a quarterback. That's you take the oomph out of this guy. Like he's already gonna go in there mentally wrong. So you got to play it off like, nah, we got it. We got a quarterback. We good. We're gonna see what's available in the draft. You know damn well you're getting a quarterback, but you can't say it out loud because it's going to affect the mental of the guy who's already there. You don't know to what extent you're going to need him this coming season. So you got to play into his ego and his mental because you're only as good as your mental tell you are.
Yeah. So I'm going to ask you, Fig, are they happy with Jalen Hurts? Are they good going over with Talent Center? Are they happy with Jalen Hurts being the number 1 QB? And if so, would you draft the QB if you're Philadelphia Eagles and you're happy? Or what would you do? Would you do what he said?
Yeah, man, it seems like the craziest thing, man, ever, man. They draft Carson Wentz. They give him a boatload of money. Then they ship him out because they got Jalen Hurts. Now they're talking about getting somebody else. Why don't you build a team around the quarterback and see if you – and see if you can win some games. How about that? What about some players that could assist the quarterback in possibly winning? Sort of like – what the Tampa Bay Buccaneers did for Tom Brady. Wait a minute. Who would have ever thought that if you had a decent quarterback and you got some players, some playmakers around this quarterback, that you would actually have a chance of winning instead of thinking that even though the quarterback is the most important player on the team, that he needs help. And if you got some players that can help the quarterback out, then maybe your quarterback is not as bad as you think he is.
Okay. Stack, what you think?
I'm a Jalen Hurts fan, but I agree that if you got the number six pick in the draft and your current starting quarterback was 1-4, that you probably should draft a quarterback. I heard what you said about what you just said, Fig, but honestly, man, Tampa Bay had those weapons before Tom got there. Jameis Winston had them same weapons just about. Outside of Gronk,
No.
Tampa Bay, what receivers were new on Tampa Bay outside of Gronk?
They had Gronk, they had Antonio Brown, they had Leonard Fournette. I mean, come on, man. They added a lot of pieces to that team to help them win.
Tampa Bay already had a loaded receiving core before Tom even got there. Antonio Brown was a major contributor throughout the season. He wasn't doing that.
Listen, the thing is that if you add a player the quality of Antonio Brown, what it does, it free up the receivers that you already have, because they can't just key on the receiver that you had previously, because they got to watch Antonio Brown, because that dude is a dog, and you got to watch him.
He barely played.
Let me finish. Okay, all right.
My bad. I'm sorry. I'm saying he barely played because I was still talking. I didn't finish. You know what I'm saying? I didn't finish. I know you be working out and all, Fake, but like I ain't saying
My bad. You win. Go ahead.
You can come on out here to my hood.
Great. Stack, go ahead, man. You got the floor.
No, I'm playing. But for real, if y'all look at the roster of the season prior, you'll see that Tampa Bay was loaded on the D line, and they had receiving core for Jameis Winston. He just threw 30 interceptions, so that's why you need to have a good quarterback.
I just want to say that was the greatest fight ever: the group home versus the guy at home.
Now listen, awesome. If you think about this, the second half of the season, they changed the entire offensive round to suit Tom Brady's style of play, and that's when they started winning. So had they done that previously, instead of no risk it, no biscuit, if they would have did the same thing possibly for Jameis Winston, gave him the same weapons, he might have done better. All I'm saying is forget about Jameis Winston and Tom Brady. If you give a decent quarterback the weapons that he needs, first you build him an offensive line so he's not running for his life, a la Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl, and you give him some weapons to throw to, play action pass, you give him a decent running game. Some of these quarterbacks are not as bad as these teams think they are, because he can't do it by himself.
All right, well, let's move on, because I want to talk about the NBA before we get to the big segment. Yeah. Let me just say this out there, man. I saw Anthony Edwards play last night. I saw his stats for the season so far. I was thinking, as of yesterday morning, that LaMelo Ball was the clear Rookie of the Year. But when I went back and I looked at some of the stats that Anthony Edwards getting, he is the third youngest in the NBA history with a 40-point game. He also has, as a rookie, he's second or third runner up for most double doubles as a rookie at his age. So now I'm going to sit there and ask both of you all three of you all, the question of, damn, is LaMelo Ball the clear Rookie of the Year, or could we make an argument, Talent, for Anthony Edwards also being the Rookie of the Year? What you think, Talent?
LaMelo Ball is your Rookie of the Year. Sometimes it comes down to not just what you did, but how you did it. He came into the league and did it in a flashy manner, like which the NBA loves and the fandom loves. He did it in a manner in which people who watch people who play ball love, and he did it the way that people was expecting the older brother to do when he came into the league. He kind of took that shine and so to speak, at his own high beam situation with those lights that was on his older brother that we was expecting to see it like that. It didn't progress like that. But for this guy, when he came into the league, instant splash, instant flash. I say he's the Rookie of the Year.
All right, so Talent said he's the Rookie of the Year because of the eye test, not the numbers. So, Fig, what you think? You think Anthony Edwards or LaMelo Ball is the clear-cut Rookie of the Year? What you think?
Well, Anthony Edwards is in, what is he, Minnesota, right? So I guess that it would not only is your numbers, I believe it's your impact or what your team is doing. I guess the jury is still out. We're just a little past halfway during the season. So at the end, I'd like to look at the numbers and see where Anthony Edwards is, because he is doing really well. But the team that he's on, doesn't get a lot of press, a lot of TV time, and I would imagine that if he was playing for Michael Jordan's team, he'd probably get a little more shine. He'd probably get a little more, some more looks. But I'd like to wait to see, because he's really coming along and he's really doing some, he's playing his behind off. I mean, he's a force to be reckoned with. He's no slouch. And I don't think it's actually I don't think that it's signed, sealed, and delivered just yet.
Stack. The numbers test, the statistically, it's kind of close. The eye test talent said it looked like it goes to LaMelo. What you think, Stack?
I'm going to give it to LaMelo because, for one, LaMelo had to come off the bench. I think that LaMelo plays with more talent on the roster, and also I think that he brings more to his team in the sense of his playmaking ability, and just like with the eyeball test, like he looks like he knows what he's doing out there. He's been playing pro ball since he was 16 years old because his father took him out of high school to go play pro in Lithuania, which I think was a great decision, even though everybody killed him for it. But he's doing exactly what he was expected to do. Anthony Edwards able to fly under the radar, whereas LaMelo has earned every minute over there in Charlotte, and he's playing alongside guys that have no problem with the ball in their hands, like Graham or Gordon Hayward. So I'm giving it to LaMelo.
I told you, Frank.
I have to say one thing. I'm one of those. I'm not disagreeing. I'm one of those people who Stack was talking about, who was killing his dad, because I thought taking his son out of the high school and bringing him over to play ball professionally, I thought that was the dumbest thing. I couldn't see it. I was really bothered by it. But right now, as we look back on it, right now in the NBA, because he clearly is used to playing with pros. It's not like, it's not like he
look at the disadvantage. Well, not disadvantage, but look at this. These European guys, when they come into the league, they've been playing pro since they was 14. Luka Doncic has been playing pro since he was 14 years old. So you see now, we over here, we take our young men, usually black when it comes to the NBA, we make them go to these colleges and get these colleges rich. These dudes don't hit the league till they're 19. Whereas overseas, these dudes is 14, 15 years old playing with grown men, learning how to go to the gym, learning how to eat, right? And that's what LeVar Ball was doing for his sons. But, it's just we're not used to seeing that happen when it comes to young black men. We want them to get pimped out by the NCAA first.
I mean, and we judge. Again, it's all about optics. We judge too soon. Speaking as a father of 3 boys, I took my oldest son. Same thing. People thought I was crazy when I took him out of, his school he was in, which was unisex, put him in an all-boys academy, which was college prep, so he could focus more. Everybody was getting on me. Oh, he's going to be 16, 17. He ain't going to get no ass, blah, blah, blah. It didn't matter. He graduated, went to college, getting mad ass now.
Yeah, man, because here's the thing. When you have a father like Talent that can send you, when you put him in an all-boys school, what Talent was doing, he was sending him up a private masseuse to give him a massage while he was in the all-boys school, so we didn't have to worry about that problem. But what's kind of crazy? This is the same, isn't it the same thing I said? I didn't say the exact same thing that Stack said. I said that on yesterday, and it makes me cringe that I really agree with Stacks, because he got a lot of wisdom up under that golf cap, man. He really does.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
My thing was this. My only issue was him being pulled out of high school. That was my issue. His education. You know what I mean? That was my only issue. I didn't know if he was going to continue to get his high school, and he didn't really continue on with his high school. But hey, it's all about, we all trying to make that money anyway, right? But anyways, Vic, you ready for your segment, bro? You got to get ready to rock with your segment.
Absolutely, man. You don't need high school if you're a multi-millionaire. That's all I'm trying to say. Ask Walt Disney.
You making $7 million.
Anyway, the 5 top dogs of the week, ladies and gentlemen. Let me put it down. Number 1 on my list, ladies and gentlemen. If you like dogs, this is my top 5. James Harden, man, doing the damn thing. Number 1 on my list, dropping 40 points, 10 rebounds, 15 assists, to triple-double. He played with no Kyrie, no KD, no problem, because the Nets beat the Pacers 124-115. Even in Brooklyn, we still got to fear the beard. That's what I'm trying to tell you. The Greek Freak is number 2 on my list, ladies and gentlemen, dropping 32 points, 15 rebounds. The Bucks over the 76ers. Oh my God. In an overtime win, 109-105, the Greek Freak put on a show. Number 3 on my list, talking about that man who been playing professional sports since he was about 14, 16 years old. My man Luka Doncic dropping 42.6 rebounds, 9 assists. Dallas over LA 105-89 in a blowout win. Let's hear it for Cool Hand Luke, because he's a dog. Number 4 on my list, ladies and gentlemen, I got to give it to my man Russell Westbrook. We haven't heard about Russell in a long time, but Russell Westbrook dropped 35 points, 15 rebounds, 13 assists. The Wizard over the Jazz, who just so happens to be the number 1 team in the West. Oh my God. Ladies and gentlemen, 131-122. Russell Westbrook getting it done with another triple-double. He's a dog. Last on my list, we just talked about this young brother. You know I got to bring him up. Anthony Edwards, I got my eyes on you, son. Dropping 42 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists. The rookie is putting on a show. Timberwolves over the Suns. And you know they got some players out there in Phoenix. The Timberwolves over the Suns, 123-119. That's my top dogs of the week. Let me hear yours.
All right. Now, I'm going to just say this. It's obvious that Frank does not like baseball, y'all. He didn't have one baseball player in there. I'm like,
I mean, say this. Baseball season right now, they almost like in spring training right now. The season ain't really even gear up just yet. Let them get in there. You know, they play like 100,000 games. When they get halfway in, start talking about baseball.
Can I finish my statement? He don't like baseball, y'all, because we gotta at least admit one thing. How many times are you gonna see a pitcher hit 2 home runs in one game? You know what I mean? Deshaun Watson hit 2 home runs in one game. I've never seen that. But it's all right. I like to. Fig's top dogs was on point. I liked it, but I was like, I don't think I'm gonna see baseball in there. As a matter of fact, let me give you all the caveat that you probably won't see baseball there at all, because Fig don't like baseball. Fig don't like baseball. But it's all
why don't you guys get together and do the top dogs together? Because he never likes his top dog.
No, I always like his top dog. I like his top dog.
At the end of every top dog, he picked 1 or 2 out of it. What about my man? What about my man?
I gotta say that.
Hey,
Charles, that makes.
What about Anthony Davis? He's injured, Frank. Anthony Davis ain't played in 2 months. What do you mean? What about Anthony Davis?
Fig, your top dogs could literally be 5 dogs: Rottweilers, Labradors, Pit Bulls.
Yeah.
And Frank will come at the end and go, Fig, what about the Yorkie though?
Yeah.
You don't like Yorkies, man? You got
what
some
about-
against Yorkies?
What about the Friskies cat? I mean, they eat too. I'm like, come on, man. He's a dog. He's a dog.
Hey, are y'all done? Are y'all done? Because you know I be putting in my points, like adding that baseball play was on point. You all know that. How many times? Let's be honest. How many times you see in your thing? How many times you see a pitcher hit 1 home run, let alone 2? And he's Japanese.
No, you're right.
And it's his first time in Major League Baseball playing on this side of the. You don't see that.
No. I didn't say you didn't have a point. My point was every time he finished, you got him to go with it. Why don't you call your segment the top dog rebuttal?
Oh, okay.
Let me just say this. I can't associate Asians and dogs. I didn't think that would be good. I didn't want to do that, man. You should talk about the Japanese.
All right. Stop before we get sued. Stop before we get sued. All right, let me ask you all this, man. And hopefully we have this discussion right after the sunset for the weekend. Hey, do you guys think?
He's
and I almost muted him.
I got John Blaze.
I almost muted him. I almost muted him for that. Keep going. I'm gonna mute you, Stack. I'm gonna mute you. What y'all think about Golden State, man? Golden State Warriors right now are being very aggressive at the trade deadline. They calling every NBA team, and the word is they're trying to trade their rookie. It was James. I forgot Wiseman. They're trying to trade that kid. Yeah, they're trying to trade him. They're calling all the NBA teams trying to trade him. Now, there are going to be some NBA teams that will bite because Golden State is trying to be super aggressive. Smart move, Talent, or not a smart move? What do you think? You think they should stay pat?
I think they should stay with him. I think it's too much too soon. Again, if they're in that same situation as the Brooklyn Nets, where we haven't had a chance to see the big three take the stage together. And this guy has put some Band-Aids on some bruising. You know what I mean? He's done covered it up and, able to Band-Aid the situation as far as we're going here. I think to get rid of him is taking steps back because you're not going to get – I don't think you're going to get young or as young. I think you're going to go veteran old for him, and I think that's a step back for Golden State. I don't agree with that.
I don't agree with it either. Fig, you got 60 seconds.
I think to be quite honest with you, I think it has to be something other than basketball because Golden State seems like a solid organization. And to get off a 19-year-old as talented as Weissman, it just seems like there's something else behind the scenes that we don't know anything about. Excuse me, with the culture of Golden State, and that's probably why they're trying to trade him. But he is as talented as young big men come. So I think it's something else other than basketball.
I think so too. Stack, what you think?
Yeah, so I guess that means that Wiseman's getting too many massages as well. But I think they should stick with him. I think they should stick with him. He's way too young. I think Wiseman's going to be a perennial all-star at some point in his career. Golden State, they don't stand a chance to win anything right now or even next season when Clay gets back. I think they should just chill out. But I would love to see Wiseman in Boston, at that rookie price. That would be nice.
Yeah, but that's if they trade. That's if they're willing to trade him to the Celtics. But that's a conversation for another day. It's the weekend. It's the weekend. We got to get ready to roll up out of here. Talent. Tell everybody out there how they can follow you, bro.
Hey, it's the weekend. Don't follow me. It's my day off. I'll see you Monday at 1 o'clock. Back on his joint box seats, baby.
Go ahead, Stat. Go ahead.
Listen, if you want to follow me, don't. Monday through Friday, 1 to 2 p.m., baby, right here on the box seats. This is the best damn sports show on TV. Even if Stack say crazy stuff like the Golden State Warriors can't win, even if they got Klay Thompson.
All right, Stack.
Hey, y'all can catch me in sunny St. Petersburg, Florida, playing at Talent's next charity golf tournament, or you can catch me on Instagram or Twitter at Stackinova.
All right, y'all, that's the show. My name is Frank. That's Stack. That's Fig. That's Talent. We'll be back Monday at 1 o'clock. The show's called Box Seats. The channel is called The Humor Mill. You already know how to find us. You already know what to do. In case you don't, we're on every available app on iOS and Android. Y'all, thanks for watching, y'all. Have a good weekend. We will see y'all Monday. Take care.